Hello, and welcome to the Sonoma County Vintners and Sonoma County Vintners Foundation Community Conversations. My name is Madison Garzoli, and I am the Membership and Foundation Programs Manager. Today, I'm joined by two amazing executive directors, one of which is our very own Michael Haney of the Sonoma County Vintners and Sonoma County Vintners Foundation, and Maxine Freitas from Equi Ed. We are so excited to have this conversation today and to really get into a little more detail about programming and what's going on in the community. First, I would like to turn it over to Michael, as always, to give a brief little update on the foundation and any pertinent items there. So Mike, if you want to take over.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Madison. And Maxine, thank you for being here to join us today. We're so excited to have you. And of course, you know, we're busy here in our foundation as usual, getting into 2021. We're getting ready to initiating our grants process, which will be the application process, and really working with our partners at Community Foundation to get our applications out there and submitted back to us so we can vet those and start to do our granting for 2021 as quickly as possible. But, you know, Madison, as you know, our foundation was founded in 1988. And since then, our foundation's been able to contribute over $37 million back into our Sonoma County communities that we're very proud of. And of course, last year being such a challenging year for all of us here in Sonoma County and around the world, we were very proud of our foundation. And because of the fantastic generosity of our wine community here, our foundation was able to put back into our communities over $4 million in working with over 85 separate nonprofits throughout our county to assist. And one of the important things about those grants as well was those grants this past year were flexible in nature, which meant our nonprofits could use those for COVID relief as well, which was a very, very big deal in our nonprofit community to be able to have that flexibility to address those challenges. So we were very happy to see that done. But of course, our foundation responded in other ways as well, whether that be our emergency relief fund, which helped so many people with not only the pandemic, but wildfires. It helped our winery and hospitality workers in the creation of that assistance fund that we're able to activate. And then of course, through our working with our partners at Redwood Empire Food Bank to have our food drives for our community. So we're very proud of our foundation and our team, but even more proud of our Sonoma County wine community that does so much each and every day to support our foundation and our community.
Yes, that's for sure true. We've done so much, and it is a real community effort. So we're so grateful for all of our partnerships and to be able to help our community in this great time of need. Tagging on to what Michael had mentioned, we did do an update to our website, and we have so much information on there. If you visit www.sonomawine.com/foundation, you will find some content in there just, you know, from the past couple of years on what we've been able to accomplish. So we're really excited about that. So if you have a chance, please check it out. It's all really great information. So thank you, Michael, for that recap. We're so excited again to continue our programming and supporting those in need for this upcoming year. Maxine, I'm so delighted to introduce you to everyone today. Maxine, like I mentioned, is the Executive Director for Equi Ed. I know that stands for Equines and Education, and I'd love for you to give our viewership some high-level details on your organization and what you guys do.
Sure, be happy to. It's always fun to share what we're working on and hearing what others are doing as well. So Equi Ed was founded in 1993. I just actually retired this last week from Santa Rosa City Schools after 33 years of working there as a school counselor. And so when we started the program, it was actually part of Santa Rosa City Schools. And so for 3 years, we worked every Friday with groups from our elementary, middle school, and high schools, special ed departments to bring students out and extend the classroom to the barn environment. And it provided a really unique and motivational tool to use with the students to encourage not only their physical activity, but bring some math skills like weighing horse speed and measuring horses and things in a different context that the kids really enjoyed a lot. And so did the teachers. So it was fun. So we kept that. That was part of my job every Friday as counselor, was running that program for 3 years. And then often what happens is administrations change and whatever. And then we moved, because I also teach in the ag department at the JC. We moved to the college farm, to Schoen Farm, and started running a program there that brought in our high school kids, but also our adapted physical education students. And we were there for several years, and then they started construction on, you know, the improvements that they've done at Schoen Farm. So then we started trying to find a place that we would permanently be at, which has always been a challenge. We're fortunate now, for the last 7 years, we've been at what used to be the Cresta Ranch, and it's now the new Mark West Regional Park for Sonoma County Regional Parks. And so we're there. It's a great environment, and overall, our goals haven't changed. It's really to bring individuals with disabilities together in an outdoor environment, mingling with volunteers and working on their physical strength, their mental acuity, giving them a challenge, and just providing a different environment for them to grow.
Yeah, and it's just an amazing program, and what you guys do. I know you impact so many lives, you know, individuals, you know, from children to adults. It's so inspiring, the work that you do. And I think, you know, the individual ways that you help people, I mean, obviously each person's experience is unique. So there's not, you know, a day that's the same. So it's just amazing what you do. I'd love, if you could, and if you're able to, kind of talk about the different ways that you engage with these individuals that you help serve. With, you know, there's an emotional component, having that interpersonal relationship with the horses, riding the horses, just talking about the different benefits of what they're able to get out from your programming.
So therapeutic riding began after, you know, within the World War II era, because they had so many, especially young men in Europe, coming back with injuries that now they survived. Whereas in earlier wars, significant injuries often resulted in death because they couldn't treat them. So they had these young men who were sitting in these hospitals, and Europe and Germany and so many of those areas have a really strong and long history with horses. And so many of those hospital staff started saying, let's get these guys out and put them with horses, because many of them had been somewhat familiar. Well, in the process of that, they realized through studies and observation that the natural movement of the horse simulates the three-dimensional walk of a person. And so without having to be in a clinical setting, they could put these patients on the back of a horse and allow them to freely move without any extraneous apparatus or whatever. And so they were outdoors, they were benefiting from this movement that the horse provided to them. And there's plenty of stories of people who did not walk, and subsequent to their participation in a structured therapeutic riding program were able to regain some strength and ability to be independent. So it's pretty powerful. We serve certainly a wide variety. We've got from our youngest are 4 years old all the way through adulthood. And they can have any variety of situations like developmental delays or physical trauma, emotional trauma, issues with learning disabilities, what else? Stroke, brain impairments. So it's really, there are some things that we can't address through therapeutic riding. Those are pretty limited. And depending upon the skills of the instructors and what their backgrounds are, we can accommodate quite a few. We have wheelchair ramps, and we have ways to help get people on horses that otherwise you would think they may not be able to. And then for the rider, especially those that are physically disabled, if they're in a wheelchair and all the time people are pushing them around or looking down at them when they talk, and now all of a sudden they're up on the back of a horse looking down on everybody else, it's a very empowering experience. And so it might not be they're going to be a hunter jumper, but just that sense of kind of being on top of the world does a lot for their emotional and status of their minds.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. And I mean, I grew up on my grandfather's ranch riding horses, and I know for me personally, that was a big part of my life. And for so many, it can have amazing benefits and really change people's lives. So I really commend the work that your team and your volunteers do to help individuals in Sonoma County and beyond. So that is amazing.
And we do more than, oh, sorry, Mike.
Go ahead, please.
Well, I was just going to say, we do more than the actual riding of the horse. I mean, we have some of our horses, like, let's see, which way do I need to go? This guy on the mic on my left, he's a what's called a Haplinger from Germany, and he pulls a cart in addition to being a riding horse. So Mike is quite versatile. So for somebody that might not be able to physically get on a horse, they might be able to be in a cart and go through that experience of driving or being with somebody that they're partnering with to be able to engage in that activity. So yeah, there's a whole gamut of different kinds of experiences that our individuals with a variety of disabilities can participate in. And probably one of the other things that we don't think about is the respite that it gives their caretakers. So we've had many of their caretakers say, you know, for this 40 minutes, I can just sit and read a book. I can go on a walk around the ranch. It's just a time, or I know you guys deal with this all the time. I don't have to worry about how my child or whoever else, the challenges they may present, because you're experienced, you're professionals, and you know what you're doing. So it's a great opportunity for those caregivers to get some peace and time for themselves.
You know, Maxine, the comprehensive nature of the benefits of your program in therapeutic riding are really extraordinary to me. And, you know, again, whether it's from, you know, the physical benefits or the emotional or the social benefits, the self-confidence that someone gets in this program. And then, of course, you just mentioned the benefits even for a caregiver. You know, that's extraordinary to me, in the large scope of that can help so many individuals. But I was curious, you know, as we got into 2020 and so forth, obviously, and the pandemic hit, so many of our nonprofits have been affected and had to adjust in really creative ways. How did that impact your program, and how did you guys adjust?
Well, we're still adjusting. It's so we had a spring program that was due to start the next Monday after the shutdown in March. And so we were shut down basically for lessons until the summer when things eased up a bit. And then when we were able to resume lessons, we could only serve our most independent and able-bodied riders, because those that need to have somebody being a horse handler and maybe one or two sidewalkers to provide support to the rider because of their balance issues or their, you know, inability to maybe stay focused or whatever it is, where they need that much additional support, it put us too close to them. And many of these individuals might not be able to wear a mask or, you know, be able to deal with a mask. So it was just, we just couldn't service them. So that's about half of our normal population. So when we found out that the grant could be used to help supplement due to the effects of COVID, that was huge, because though we charge $40 a lesson, the actual cost of a lesson is about $95 when you figure in insurance and cost of the horses and all the rest of it. So and so we do mostly fundraising, grant writing, things like that, as do most nonprofits, to help supplement our programming. But what the Vintners and your organization did was huge in terms of helping us get through this time. So then we served about half of our population through the summer and up to the winter, and then we took that nosedive again. So since the middle of December, we've had to shut down programming because we're considered agriculture, and we have the horses to take care of. Our volunteers that do horse care are considered essential workers. So they can come in using strict COVID guidelines and precautions and provide, you know, the continual care and exercise and things like that that the horses need on a regular basis. But at this point, we have no idea when we will be able to resume lessons of any kind to whatever population might be out there. So it's tough on the families with our riders that, for some of them, getting out and getting on that horse is one of the few physical activities they're able to do. And so it's going to be so very, very important. And I know they're all waiting eagerly for the vaccinations to come out, and so that we can get that going and hopefully be able to resume by the summer. And then I'm in a classroom right now where the teacher and I wrote the grant that we submitted to the Vintners Foundation, and it was to develop, it's actually allowed us to look at coming full circle back to working with Santa Rosa City Schools. So we went through 20 years of being somewhat separate, and with this grant, and it's a agriculture vocational grant, that we would bring this, our pilot group is this classroom of special ed students from Slater Middle School, and bring them out and have them assist with barn chores. They have their own little garden, so they take our, we call it Cabernet, Neigh, which is the manure from the horses. And they bring it back to their garden at school. And long-term plan is that we will work with the kids at the barn, and then hopefully eventually they can take their vegetable starts and our bagged Cabernet to the local farmers market, maybe once a week, and teach them money skills, expand their socialization skills, things like that. So we're really excited. We were hoping it was going to start this year, but I can't. And so hopefully we'll apply again and maybe look forward to August or September getting going.
I love that idea, the Cabernet. That is so clever. And the way that you're so creative with your team to create these programs and hopefully implement them this year with Slater Middle School and maybe even beyond.
Right.
Is awesome. And you know, I know our audience may be interested in, you know, volunteering and help contributing to your operations, your day-to-day necessary items that you need to get completed. So I was curious, if someone was interested in volunteering, how can they go about doing that? Do they need a specific certification, or is it an email? How can they go about doing that?
So one of the advantages to Equi perhaps is that I've been an equine science instructor at the junior college for 30 years. And so we have a well-established education program so that somebody, even without any equine skills per se, can come in and we will teach them the ropes and go over safety and all the rest of that. So, and we have people that have lots of horse experience as well. It runs the gamut, but they need to be 14 years of age in order to volunteer in the actual lesson program. And they go through a pretty extensive training when we're able to offer it. And then, so they generally make contact via our website. My email is on the website. There's a whole section for volunteering. People can call. The number is listed on the website as well. And so that we have a Facebook page. We post a lot of things on Facebook. So there's ample opportunities for people to get involved, whether or not it's physically being involved or donating a horse or leasing us a horse or what else? Running a tractor for us. We're in need of a tractor. So right now we're having to borrow tractors. So anytime we can get tractor help, we love it because we have a lot of manure to move. But anyway,
lots of Cabernet to be had.
Lots of Cabernet. So yeah, there's fundraisers when we're able to offer those as well. So you know, the majority of people love to come out and be with the horses and help with their care and participate in the lessons. But there's other things that are certainly available. Serving on our board. I mean, there's a multitude of ways to help out, and we're always encouraging people. Just come visit. I mean, we'll schedule a time and have you come out, see the program, see what it's like out there. It is a beautiful place to be. You know, I mean, it's now parkland, so it's really very special.
Yes, and it's amazing being outdoors, especially during the pandemic. And when you're allowed to have volunteers back in, social distance, taking into consideration all the protocol, but just getting out, being with animals, I think is so, I mean, it's therapeutic. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So I think that's so amazing, and for people to be able to connect with you so easily through your website, through Facebook, it's easy enough. So I hope that we have some interest in our audience today. This has been such a phenomenal conversation, and you know, we love these conversations with our beneficiaries and promoting our partners in the community that do so much. So we really appreciate you, Maxine, taking some time today to chat with us, and we're looking forward to, you know, partnerships in 2021. So thank you both for being here, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you for having me, and all the good work that you guys are all doing and all of our nonprofit partners.
Well, thank you, Maxine, for all your impact, your wonderful positive impacts here in Sonoma County. It's an outstanding program, and we're proud to partner with you all.
Okay, thanks again.
All right.